Okay, just some random musings on the theist versus atheist discussions that I see everywhere, and on the topic itself, I guess. I don't know if I'll use this. I didn't make an outline for this one. I'm just going to freeform it and use it or not use it. Anyway, the central core of my point to the whole thing is it really all boils down onto how you're going to define God. You know, whether you believe in God or not. All boils down to how you define God. Now, to illustrate that point, I would say that to some people's view, I would be an atheist. I don't believe in a persona, God having a personality and a persona, a big white-robed man on a throne, with his own particular likes and dislikes, and a God that can be angered, and a jealous God. I just can't buy that sort of God. So to that type of believer, they might consider me an atheist. To a cold-hearted scientific person, they might call me a theist, because I do believe there is some kind of there is something deeper than what is shown. And there's all kinds of arguments. And the creation arguments versus evolution and all that, I really think that misses the point. To me, a much better point would be to look at the substance of nature itself. Look at, you break down things to the atomic level and then to the subatomic level. And even at the atomic level, even at the molecular level, there's distances between the molecules. But especially when you get to the atomic level, the atoms are actually way far apart, relative to the size of the pieces of the atoms. If you go down to the scale, they're very far apart from each other. And then you get to the subatomic particles, and it's just more empty space. They're just little packets of organized energy filling space. The little tiny packets relative to their size, far apart, forming these pieces of the atom. It's just smaller and smaller and finer and finer. There's just space and energy is what it gets down to. Space and some energies that are some very particular type of vibrations of energy, and separations of space, packets of energy. I mean, how did all that happen? If you really want to get down to the core of it, I would look at the nature of matter itself rather than, whether or not animals evolved or they were created. I really think it's mostly semantics. They evolved because the matter was created the way it was created. As Alan Watts would say, the earth just peoples, just like an apple tree apples, He put it better than that somewhere else. But I think it's in the nature of the matter itself, the way things are constructed, that amino acids are going to form, and living processes are going to form, and so I really think that misses the whole thing of it. And these people have all these, this one conference report was commenting on how people get into this conversation who don't know the classic arguments, and how others will look down on them for that, because, just about any argument you can come up with on atheism versus theism is going to has been rehashed before. Basically back down in Roman times or Greek times, a lot of these arguments have been handled, and people come to these forums and think they got something brand new, and no, that was dealt with back in Greece. So I don't know. The whole point is really, it's really not worth getting into until you can define the undefinable, which to me is God. I don't think anybody really knows the true nature of God. I think it's almost braggart, or what would be the word to say here? It's spiritual egotism to say that you know the nature of God, and someone else doesn't. And your view of God is right and theirs isn't. To me, we all do a little bit of that, and we all have to believe in what we believe in. But do you evangelize, belief or non-belief? I don't see the point. Like most of philosophy, I think it all goes down to semantics more than anything else. Anyway, that's my quick on that one. I'm going to let it go at that.